Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the third season of KCG, which actually is the fourth because we had a mini season, but no, doesn't matter. The third main season of KCG. This time Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to... Sorry. Professional league and stuff. Anyway. This season we race the F3 cars, and round 1 kicks off at the Imola track or Imola circuit, which also recently held the F1 race and GT races. So quite a known track and also a very fun track to drive and to race on. And we have currently 10 cars on the server. Doesn't sound like much, but those drivers really are on a pretty high level. That's what makes KCG what it is, basically. And yeah, that's all the info you need for the season, basically. And I will explain about the racing and stuff in a second. First of all, let's talk about some of the drivers. So far we have 11 drivers listed. 10 are here today. Only Rockers to be can't make it seems like. Maybe he joins in quali, as we usually have it enabled. So yeah. First one you see on the screen, Sven Mackenberg, and also let's talk directly about him and his brother Marvin Mackenberg. Both again showing up, which is great to see. They've been in all seasons so far. Always had great results. Had a very cool battle between some iconic cars in the mini season, with the Ford GT driven by Sven Mackenberg and the McLaren 650S driven by Marvin Mackenberg. And so far those two really set the pace together with the third driver we also saw on screen, Yuval Rosen. Probably also a well-known character in the RaceRoom universe, or in the RaceRoom community, let's say. And he also decided to join us in Season 3. Also has a lot of pace, it seems like, and I'm quite curious to see what he can do in this car. And yeah, also something I never seen before, the flag of Israel. Like, I have seen it before, but not in the game, so also very cool to see a new country. Also a new country in this league, for that matters. And then we've also got a very familiar face, Frank van Roon, if the overlay would update. Also has been part of 3 seasons. Someone who's, yeah, been all over the place, let's say. He always had great battles during the races. Also a lot of funny moments we had with him in this season, or in this league, better said, season 1 with the Audi and the fuel consumption as one example, but also all the great battles in mini season 1, and yeah, the struggles he had with the GT4 cars in season 2. But yeah, very happy to see him back. Hope he will stay with us for a longer time. And yeah, I can just look up something. He actually won one race, which has also been like, it was always like, when will he win his first race, as he always was on such high level but just lost victories here and there and all over the place, better said. But he actually won the race in Hockenheim in the mini season 1. Also grabbed another podium on that day. So yeah, definitely one of the forces to be reckoned with. And yeah, let's move on. Someone else we know, especially from season 1, and I will again butcher his name, and I'm sorry, buddy, but yeah, Boldizar Versegi Nagy has driven the Porsche in season 1 and had some fun battles. I especially remember Watkins Glen, even though there was like the struggles at the start of the race, but later on he had great struggles with, I think it was Boris Schmidt in the other 911 and someone else, I can't remember who it was. But some great fighting, and also a very fast driver, a very fair driver. And yeah, I'm always curious to see what he can do in this car. how much pace he can extract. And good to see him again as well. Then we've got someone who I think, let me check real quick, I think he's new to KCG. I mean, he is a very well-known character, person in the RaceRoom community. If you're on the RaceRoom Discord, there's no way around him, basically. But yeah, Radoslav Perkowski actually makes his KCG debut, as it seems. Obviously, in the Deutsche Post livery, everyone who knows Feldhardt knows it has to be the Deutsche Post livery. And yeah, still cool to see him join the KCG grid. Also has a lot of face and a lot of meme potential. But yeah. Also, we have another Polish rookie for KCG, which is Mateusz Friedrich. I'm sorry. What? Maybe just text me later how I should pronounce it. Yeah, but another new face in KCG. Happy to see him here join us for this season. So far he seems on decent pace as well. Obviously the timings you see at the moment at the top left are not really representative, as we still got 12 minutes to go in qualifying, and we will see the lower times probably later in qualifying for the cars that are now a bit further in the back. But still cool to see someone new and completely new. So yeah. Then we've got someone we already know, especially from Season 2, who's Rui Carvalho. Had a lot of battles with Pavel Bogdan in the Lotus, for example. And currently struggles to find his way. But yeah, also someone who can be very rapid. It tends to drop in some days or in some tracks, but if it's the right car and the right track, he is very fast. I think he can definitely go lower than 3.3 seconds of Sven Martenberg, who's currently leading. And then we've got another one who raced in KCG before, but I think at least he raced in KCG before. Actually, over time we got so many drivers and it's insane. I hope some of them will come back for Season 3 or maybe Season 4. But yeah. Master Löcken, also someone you definitely know from Discord, also very active user. And yeah, much like Feldhardt, I guess. So let's see what he can do in this machine. Currently 1.6 seconds off the pace from Sven Martenberg, but you also have to say Sven Martenberg, Marvin Martenberg, and Frank von Norden, for example, are like esport level. Levi Rosen, I think, as well. So that's a very high bar they set in this league, and also since day one. But yeah, Master Löcken, welcome. And yeah, then we go to the last one. Someone we've seen in mini season 1, Florian Arendt. Also had quite decent races in mini season 1. He was very new to RaceRoom there, so he had now quite some time to get used to the sim more and more time also to get used to the car. So let's see what he can do in this car. He seems to go for no qualifying, which is a valid strategy. Some people just want to take it more easy. They don't want to punish it in the league. But yeah, talking about the league, as we still got 10 minutes to go in qualifying. Time schedule is 1 hour of practice, 20 minutes of qualifying, which we have right now. Then there's a 5-minute warm-up for people to do the last thing before the race. And yeah, then we race around 20 minutes scheduled. So on Imola it's 12 laps, which should equal 20 minutes. Then we've got another 5-minute warm-up or a 5-minute break before race 2. Each race is counted as one complete race with 25 points up for grabs. And yeah, points awarded is as usual 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Probably the one that you are most familiar with because it's very common in motorsports nowadays. But there's no prize for pole position or fastest lap. as these usually go to the same people. Let's say it like that. And it brings a bit more variety in that. Meanwhile, Levi Rosen goes quickest. And again we can see the very close distances between the drivers. 34 thousandths of a second between him and Sven. I think last season, like in the mini season, better said, we had differences like between or less than 100 at times, so quite cool to see this also happening in this season, even though we only have 10 cars. But yeah, it's like one of those things. Grid size isn't always the most important thing. It's about the level the people have. Meanwhile, Marvin Mackenberg also improves his time and now is only 700ths away from Levi Rosen. And yeah, let's see. Meanwhile, Florian Arendt seems, yeah, he's driving. And I've also got a few things to play with in this season, because I also want to have some fun. For example, if we now take a look at, this is Friedrich. Yeah, Friedrich spinning out at the last corner. During qualifying, it's obviously completely fine. Also, race 2 will be the grid of the finishing order in race 1, so no reverse grid or anything, just normal. So, if we take a look at Marvin Mackenberg, for example, now I can show some infos about the drivers, and I definitely need to change that green, I guess. I can actually do that live. Wait a second. Just need to... I want to try some stuff out this season, so don't wonder if there is some stuff. That's a bit darker, even though it's no split in two. Just gonna see. I will talk about this later in the season and later in the stream. When we've got the time. Now it's just a bit too much to talk about everything and why and when. And also the reason, I think I should talk about the reason why it's been so long for Season 3 to take off. I think this is much better. So as you can see, I can show some driver infos. I can also edit them live on stream, in theory. So yeah, I hope this could be a fun tool, even though it's not flawless and a bit nasty to do. And I also have live driver standings I could edit. So obviously the number on the left is the position and the name is name of the drivers. This is now just in the order of the people who signed in, and I only can do it for top 10 so far. Then you see the car number, because every car has assigned a number. And then there's the points they have gathered, the first number. Then the red number is the penalty points. You can get up to 12 penalty points during a season. If you reach 12 penalty points, you will be disqualified from the next event, which hasn't happened yet, and I hope it will never happen. But to make them, let's say, actually punishing for a 6, it's a 12 race season, but still I think the system is quite fair. We will subtract them from the points gathered. So we have a total, which you can see on the right side. This is the total amount of points they have. So the points they have gathered minus the points, penalty points. So yeah, I hope this is all clear now, and I hope it all works. So yeah. And meanwhile, I'm seeing chat. Marvin saying Yuval had such a powerful slipstream. Yeah. But it's also part, if we have cars of the same class, we would always do normal qualifying, as it just gives us... it's like in real life you also have slipstreams and stuff, so it's kind of fun. I mean, obviously for ranked where there are like random people, it's not always great because people block you and the performance differences are so big at times. But yeah, in this league we have no issues with it, or had never issues. Especially soon there will be qualifying replays as far as I'm concerned. So we can actually look through qualifying and look if anyone done wrong or something. We only had some small things in Season 1, but as you know, it's Season 1. But so far Season 2 and Mini Season 1 were flawless, I think. So yeah, that's quite nice to have. And Instinct, or my cover, I think it is. Hate fix. The thing is, why I chose fixed setup for this season. Just got to doing a little thing. I chose fixed setup for this season to encourage people to join, actually, because you don't have to do the setup work, and also the base setup on the F3 car is quite good. So it's not like understeamy, or so it has a good balance, and also provides good racing, as it has downforce but not much dirty air. And at the same time, if everyone has fixed setups, the speeds on the straights will also be at least very similar. So it's much more driver focused in the end. And yeah, especially because it took so long for Season 3 to take off, I knew that it would be quite hard to get people in, and fixed setup usually helps it by just allowing people to not have to spend countless of hours into a setup that works for each track. But yeah, obviously get the point of that you said with diff setups and stuff that doesn't fit the driver well. Depends on the people. But I think on this car, I wouldn't have done it on many cars. But on this car, fixed setup is actually quite a good idea for me. I think. I only know VLN. But yeah, no, last 2 minutes of qualifying. Yuval Rosen is in the pits and Sven Mattenberg is in the pits, so these two won't set another time. Marvin Mattenberg, meanwhile, is on a fast lap, 8 thousandths away in Sector 1. Let's see what he can do. Frank von Roon Mira in P4 on his last lap. I don't know. I don't think he can get to the finish in time, though. At least we'll be very close. Nagy and Piatkowski standing in the pits. Marcel Löcken probably also won't get in another lap. Yeah, he won't. So 7th for him. Matthias Friedrich, close in Sector 1, not as close in Sector 2, 1.4 seconds. Might still be an improvement. Let's see. $138. Stays at his time. Meanwhile, Florian Arendt has put it in 6th with a 138.891. Respectable time. 1.1 seconds away from Sven. And Rui Carvalho currently 3.5 seconds away, isn't on a valid lap. So, seems like those are the standings, as everyone is in the pits. So, for the first race in Season 3, we've got Yuval Rosen on pole position with an insane 137.766. 1.5 tenths faster than Sven Mattenberg, who's in P2, and Marvin Mattenberg in P3. Then we've got Frank van Roon in P4, Bolisa Vezzi Nagy in P5. Then we've got the first kind of split, Florian Arendt in P6. Roughly 6/10 behind Nagy. Then we've got Radoslav Piatkowski and Marcel Löcken following up, and Friedrich completing this split. And Rui Carvalho in qualifying, not on pace, but anything can happen in the race. And a race is not only about pace, it's also about being consistent and also not attacking when it's not, when you don't need to. Driving smart, basically. Meanwhile, a bit of a discussion about the Nordschleife in chat. But yeah, that's the running order. And obviously you can use the warm-up for some practicing starts and stuff, as we have a standing start. Not the rolling start we established last mini-season. And yeah, so anything else I need to say before the race? I don't think so. Obviously we have no pit stop as we have a 2-split race. And yeah, there will be 6 races, or 12 races across 6 days for the next 2 months. I don't want to say anything wrong. Yeah, basically for the next 2 months. So the finale will be on the 22nd of June in Spielberg, Austria, with a 15-lap race or 2 15-lap races. And yeah, race 2 Hockenheim next week. And next week also I won't really commentate, as another person will commentate, because I can't basically. Maybe I'll tell on that day. So I will still do the stream in the background and stuff, just not talking a lot. Then we've got 1 week without racing, but then we visit Spa, 2 times 10 laps. And I need to change cameras, it's super loud there. So yeah, for 10 laps at Spa. Then it's another week without racing. But after that, it's Hungaroring. Also, very iconic track, I think. And a lot of fun in those cars as well. They fit them very nicely, I think. As it's not as big, just like Imola is, basically. But then, another week without racing. Those pauses also have their reasons. So, but yeah, then we visit Assen. A very new track to RaceRoom still. I was choosing. I can't speak. I was thinking about Zandvoort, as Zandvoort F3 is just a dream combo, but I also wanted to give a newer track a shot. And Assen is a very fun track. It's a bit trickier to learn, I think, as the layout is. It's not tricky, but it's also a bit weird to understand, let's say. So this will be a challenge for some of the drivers, I think. And then we've got another week without racing, and then the finale, as said, in Spielberg. Everything on the Grand Prix layouts as well. Second. Oh, I also maybe I should mention the prices. I mean, it's nothing too complex or something. There will be 3 prizes for the top 3 in the standings at the end of the season. 2000 VRP for P1, 1100 VRP for P2, and 500 VRP for P3. So overall 3600 VRP in prize money. I think it's quite okay. I just need to get something to pull people in, basically. And yeah, I hope that will help. So yeah, we go racing in like a minute or so. Once round is over. See, some people still driving. I think I will talk about why it's been so long since mini season 1, which has been at the end of last year, actually, and now the KCG comeback in the second break or in the second warm-up. So yeah. In the first place, I'm just happy to have it back. I actually missed it a lot. It's very special to me. I'm also still very thankful to Dennis, who also still supports me with it. That he basically while he went to Assetto Corsa and just let me have control over it. Maybe he's watching, maybe not. But yeah. Now we see the cars joining the grid, and we've got all 10 cars in place. Yuval Rosen on pole. And still counting down. I don't know. And 5 lights. And we go racing in Imola. Yuval Rosen had quite a good start. Sven seemed to have not a great start. Marvin already overtook him into the first chicane. Meanwhile, further back, cars going too wide. And Yuval Rosen protects the inside line and can keep Marvin Mackenberg at bay. Meanwhile, Sven Mackenberg had to go over the sausage curbs and now is in the gravel. Lost a lot of time and positions there. Meanwhile, Frank van Roon up into P3, Florian Arendt up into P4. And in the back you could see Nagi taking a bit of a gravel there. Happens to a lot of drivers. Now Florian Arendt putting pressure on Frank van Roon. Meanwhile, further back, it's Marcel Löcken fighting with Rudel Cavallo, and we already hear the tire screeches because of the slight misplacement of the collisions in those cars. Let's see what happens. Sven Mackenberg obviously on the recovery drive. Every position he can recover during this race, he doesn't have to recover during the next. Now Marcel Löcken having a look, but can't quite get close. Nagi also having a look on Florian Arendt. Or still having a look on Florian Arendt. Probably waiting for the 2 left-handers to get the slipstream on the start-finish straight. And Feldhardt behind, also waiting. But now he lost a lot. No, it's Florian Arendt who went off. Don't know what happened directly in the back. Also, Riccardo struggling a bit. Wait for the goal. But that's how fast it can go. Just one a bit too early on the throttle, especially in those cars. If you're a bit too early on throttle, the rear just spins around. So actually saved it. And Sven Mackenberg now getting past Rui Carvalho. And Florian Arendt passing Marcel Löcken. Let's look at the front. Yuval Rosen still leading. Can build a bit of a gap to Marvin Mackenberg, who himself has quite of the same gap to Frank van Roon behind. And then Nagi, a bit slower than van Roon. Let's see how this develops during the race. Especially through the corners, van Roon seems to keep a little bit of more speed. But Feldhardt can go the pace with Nagi. Is consistently getting a bit closer. Then there's a gap to Friedrich, who also lost a bit in the fights at the start. And Florian Arendt, who made his way up into P7 again. So currently, Yuval Rosen at the front. Just running away with it, 1.4 seconds the gap. Marcel Löcken now putting pressure on Florian Arendt, getting close. Probably also waiting for the start-finish straight. And the slipstream in those cars is quite big. So we might see him here pull out. Probably on the right hand side, yeah, Florian protecting the inside line. And now they go side by side. Florian Arendt braking a bit later. Now can Marcel Löcken do the switchback? Florian Arendt taking a bit too much curb. Can't go quite flat through this corner. Marcel Löcken also can't get alongside to attack into Villeneuve. Some good defending mirror. I think it was Friedrich going through the gravel. And he seems to build a bit of a gap to Feldhard at times. At least he can keep him at bay. Keep the distance, at least in the same region. I think he will be happy with P4. Now Florian Arendt and Marcel Löcken closing in on Matthias Friedrich. Florian Arendt having a look on the inside, but pulling back in. Going wide though, very wide, and missing the chicane, or the second turn of the chicane. Now getting passed by Sven Mattenberg. Maybe a bit too much curb then just understeered while landing. Now Marcel Löcken, the one behind Friedrich. Also one getting close. Probably won't be enough with the slipstream on this straight. Maybe it is enough for Florian Arendt though. He also isn't going for the slipstream. Is Florian Arendt trying to do an attack? Yeah, he moves to the inside. Sven Magnuck leaving space on the outside. But well defended from Sven. Leaving just enough space, but not enough to get a 1 for it. Meanwhile, Marvin Magnuck now getting closer to Ivar Rosen again. 7 tenths. Ivar Rosen sliding a bit on the exit there. And Marcel Löcken consistently getting closer to Friedrich. Now up on his diffuser. Pushing him up the hill, actually. Cavaro just can't go the pace of the others in this race. Florian Arendt seems to be able to keep up in the slipstream. Is he trying an attack into the chicane? No, he isn't. But Sven Mattenberg, look at how much curb he takes. Car basically takes off in that moment. So this battle for, let's say 6th between those 4. 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. Can be quite interesting, I think, doing the race. So we still got 9 laps to go. Oh, and Marcel Löcken taking too much curb and going through the gravel, losing a lot of time and speed. Sven Mattenberg using the situation, getting past. Can Marcel Löcken come back with slipstream? It doesn't seem like it, but slipstream obviously increases. But yeah, just too much speed loss, can't get close. But you see the different lines people take here through Tamburello. Going wider on the entry or going wider in the exit of turn 2. Now through Villeneuve. Also very different. Some people just taking more speed through turn 1, but therefore sacrificing on turn 2 of this chicane. And the other way around. Now Friedrich again gets pushed up the hill. But not by Marcel Löcken, this time it's Sven Mattenberg. Meanwhile, Ivar Rosen has increased the lead over Marvin Mattenberg yet again, 1.3 seconds currently. But let's take another look at this now going through Aqua Minerale. Now Mattenberg definitely has more pace. But so far he can't really get past. Good job by Friedrich there defending. To still be in 6th at the moment. Which also is very important. Even if you don't have the pace, there's always the opportunity to defend. Now defending to the inside, Marvin on the outside and Marcel Löcken right behind. Little push by Marcel there on Sven's rear. But didn't seem like it was anything serious. But now the slipstream chain across the start-finish line. Friedrich going through the middle and 3 wide into Tamburello. Now Sven Mattenberg taking the lead, Marcel Löcken pulling out of it, but what a move there from Sven Mattenberg. Not also well defended from Friedrich there. Probably knew that he couldn't keep Sven behind for long and just chose to defend from Marcel. But now Marcel very close to Matthias. Meanwhile, Marvin Magmark 2 seconds behind Rosen, Frank van Roon another 2.3 seconds. Bolizar Versegi Nagi can go the pace with Frank van Roon. Less than a second now, just breached the barrier. Felter driving a bit of a lonely race currently. 4 seconds, or 5 seconds behind him is Sven Mattenberg. And meanwhile, while I talk, Marcel Lürken is starting an attack on Friedrich and get plus Friedrich going a bit. And Marcel Lürken losing an attack, just managed to save it, but now obviously lost a lot of speed. And now Florian Arndt also got past Friedrich and is now way faster than Marcel Lürken, but can't get close enough. But can he use the slipstream on the straight? Marcel Lürken not having the greatest exit, Florian Arndt having an okay exit. But now slipstreaming, getting closer. Meanwhile, at the front, Nagy and Van Roon also get closer to each other. Little bump there. Now having the inside line. Now can he use this? Side by side. Braking way later, but making it stick. And Marcel Lürken taking a lot of curb there. Now, order is Sven Mattenberg in 6th, already 3.4 seconds the gap. Then Florian Arndt, Marcel Lürken and Matthias Friedrich, who can keep up with Marcel Lürken at the moment. And let's look at Nagy. Less than a second away from Frank van Roon. Tire temperatures are quite important in this car as well. I think on this track it should be quite okay. And Frank van Roon getting on the power too early on, too much power, losing the rear, and now falling back to 5th. That's how fast things can go. Now right in front of Sven Mattenberg. So he again has a car less than a second behind him. And also Feldhardt got past Frank. But obviously it's still 5 laps to go. Gap is 3.5 seconds. Maybe Frank has the pace to give us another great battle. Meanwhile, Friedrich let go of Marcel Lürken. Meanwhile, Marcel Lürken got close to Florian Arndt again. Now getting close to slipstream. That's the wrong car. This is the correct one. Not going for an attack. Maybe trying to get a slingshot, but just can't get enough speed into Villeneuve. Having a look on the inside though. But I'm really taking a lot of curb there. If you do so, you can gain a lot of time, but if you go too far, cannot badly. Meanwhile, Sven Mattenberg now around about half a second behind Frank van Roon. So looking coming closer ever so slightly. Meanwhile 2.5 seconds. And now Marcel Lürken is side by side with Florian Arndt out of Aqua Minerali on the outside. Marcel Lürken can't get past Florian Arndt, parking it on the inside to block Florian to block himself. To block Marcel Lürken from launching an attack, and it actually worked quite well as he's still behind. See if this helps Matthias Friedrich to come closer again. Florian taking a bit of a wider line. And now again, slipstream. Let's look at Sven Mattenberg first. Can he get close enough? He has the slipstream, but he won't make it until the Tamburello. But on the other hand, Marcel Lürken can make it. At least alongside. Now, again, braking game. Florian has been very strong on the brakes against Marcel Lürken. And it also works this time. Now, can Marcel Lürken get the slingshot working this time? He is pretty close, but just not close enough. And Sven Mattenberg and Frank van Roon now going side by side through the hairpin. Oh, and that's... yeah. Even just enough. This is just like the tricky thing. You've heard them touching wheels or screeching wheels, but yeah, you could see the gap between those cars. It's just like the geometry or the collision detection is just a bit misplaced. It's a bit weird, but we will definitely have a look at it after the race. It'll just look like hard racing. Looking, keeping the distance close now, running off a bit, getting the slowdown penalty. And we've still got 4 laps to go. 3 laps to go, actually. As Hyval Rosen just crossed the line. Quite a lonely race for him so far, but super performance by him. 4 seconds the gap to Marvin Markenberg. So, Hyval Rosen, maybe the next Miso Stupner. Just jumping in and being super competitive. Or Ilya Dvorozhkov. I mean, he straight up dominated Season 1 after he joined, won every single race. Of the remaining 4. Masserlöcken. 8,000 behind. This time maybe the slingshot works. Florian Arndt defending the inside and again works for him. But now Florian Arndt going wide. But can Masserlöcken get enough of a push there? No, he can't. Those two really having a great fight there. Masserlöcken being super aggressive on the throttle. But it works. So Markenberg now also close to Frank von Roon. Masserlöcken really trying to get close, but he just always goes off track while doing so. Which doesn't help him. I mean, you don't punish it. But it doesn't help him because he does get slowdowns for it, and those add up. Now those two. Sven probably just also waiting for the start-finish straight. And they're also closing in on Feldhardt. 1.8 seconds the gap. And Masserlöcken couldn't keep up quite as much this lap. See, both having quite kind of the same exit there. Sven Markenberg now on the outside with Slipstream. Frank von Roon blocking on the outside, which was actually quite smart because Sven Markenberg committed to the outside very early. Alright there. So what happened to Florian Arndt? I didn't see it. Does it tell me anything in the dashboard? Nothing. So Florian Arndt seems to have lost it. Also lost P8 due to this. But now Sven Markenberg launching an attack on Frank von Roon into the chicane. Frank von Roon again blocking the inside line. Recover meanwhile struggling a lot with the car, it seems like. Hope this will get better during the season. I also hope he continues this season, as it's cool to see him around. But now let's watch these two. And Friedrich also getting closer to Lecken. But now Markenberg. 23,000 behind von Roon in the slipstream. Battle for P5. Again, committing to the outside. This time he has way more overlap. Now, who's better on the brakes? There is a bit of contact, but as I said, that's normal to say. It also doesn't really affect the cars. I also asked the drivers after the race how bad it was in this case. Oh, and Sven Markenberg taking a lot of curb there. You have to watch that you don't break their suspension. And he's looking a lot for any opportunity he gets. But Frank von Roon just always has this car in the right space to just not let him pass. And Friedrich meanwhile 8/10 behind Löcken. Maybe Löcken got a bit of damage, even though it doesn't show. So as we're now on lap 12, I want to watch you across the line, but this battle is just too close. Frankfurt not again defending the inside. And Sven Magma going a bit too right there. Meanwhile, Ivar Rosen crossing the line in first place. First entry, first pole, first win. Behind him, Marvin Mackenberg crossing in P2, Nagy now crossing in P3. Then there's Feldhardt, consistent race, as said, consistency with races. In P4 and now P5, the fight for it. But Sven Mackenberg just can't get enough speed. And it's Frank van Roon securing 5th in front of Sven Mackenberg. Super close between those two. Great battle. Master Löcken coming in 7th. Actually, 7th, just bugged. 2nd. Friedrich in 8th. Florian Arendt. Don't know what happened there, but fell back to 9th. Let's see what he can do in the next race. And Rui Cavallo in 10th. Maybe he got used to the car a bit more this race. Let's see what he can do in race 2. Frank van Roon typically hating the car. I hope this time he keeps racing, because even though he hates the car, the racing he delivers. It's just great to see the battles he had with Sven. But yeah, so the order into race 2 will be Yuval Rosen again on pole, Marvin Mackenberg on second. Maybe this time he knows how fast Yuval Rosen can be and tries to catch up during the opening phase of the race. Then we've got Polisaver Segi Nagy in 3rd, also a race basically, or a podium won through the consistency, as well as Feldhardt on P4. Frank van Roon securing 5th after his spin in front of Sven Mackenberg, so these two will start alongside each other again. Then Marcel Löcken in 7th. Matthias Friedrich getting back to P8, Florian Arendt falling back to P9 during the race. And Rui Carvalho starting last for this race. Let's see what he can do this time. And even though if it doesn't work on this race, maybe it works on Hockenheim. We will see. At least I remember a very fun race we had at Hockenheim in the GT4 cast in season 2. A very, let's say, intense battle with Pavel Bogdan, and I think it was also, wasn't it his debut race? Just let me check real quick. Standings. For now, we don't know the flex Dennis chose for the races. I could do. Debut was the second race of the season, and the second race was Hockenheim, yeah. So I was right. I mean, actually I could. I need to use it now. And actually, what I completely forgot, I still got one. So market pays a lot. Oh no, I didn't copy. Maybe. This actually takes a lot. Maybe I should erase driver numbers. Because this makes stuff much more complicated. Just 1 second. What's up? I'm not typing. Alright. And we are on to race in the second race. 5 lights. And we go green for the second time in Imola. Now this time Marvin seems to have had a better start than Yuval did. But Yuval going deep into the second turn, but Marvin trying the switchback didn't work out so far, so still behind. Further back, a lot of chaos. Masterlecken fell back to 8th. Florian Arndt had a great start into P6 behind Frank van Roon and in front of Sven Nockenberg. And recover again, struggling a bit with the gravel trap. Nagi was able to keep 3rd and Feltert was able to keep 4th. So a big winner of the starting phase of the start itself, Florian Arndt. And now Nagi super close to Marvin Mackenberg. Actually having a look into Akon Minerale. Close, no, the field now being super close. Now Florian Arndt now going a bit wide, I don't know if he got pushed. And now 3 wide, Masterlecken, Sven Mackenberg and Florian Arndt, 3 wide. Who chickens out first? And there's contact between Masterlecken and Sven Mackenberg. Sven Mackenberg and Masterlecken were able to hold the car stable, but Masterlecken lost out a lot of speed, but Sven Mackenberg was able to get past Florian Arndt there. This means Sven Mackenberg now back into 6th. Florian Arndt into 7th. But there's still the slipstream. And at the front, Radoslav Piałkowski slipstreaming on Nagi, who lost to Marvin Mackenberg. And Frank van Roon right behind, just waiting for the opportunity to get by. Further back, Sven Mackenberg obviously, due to other shenanigans, now having a bit of a gap. And Florian Arndt and Masterlecken being super close. Oh, and Sven Mackenberg taking a lot of curb and then going through the gravel. Now Florian Arndt on the outside is in front on the entry. Now how is it on the exit? Let's watch from Masterlecken's perspective. Florian Arndt has a tiny lead over Sven Mackenberg. Sven Mackenberg now pulling out a bit or just can't go the speed due to damage. Now Frank van Roon into P4. And Florian Arment is back into P6. That's cool. Meanwhile, now this time he can keep closer for a longer time to Ryzen. 4/10. And Frank von Roon now chasing Oliver Nagi. And those three now again super close. Friedrich and Cavallo just behind. Just waiting for any opportunities. Sven Markenberg on the outside, Florian on the inside. Oh, and Sven Markenberg goes in deep and into the gravel, loses a lot of time and loses 4 positions. In the end. Or basically 3. So now he again has to catch up with this time on his own. And Frank von Roon side by side with Nagi. There's a lot of contact between those two. We'll definitely take a look at it afterwards. So none of them carries any damage because of it. Now Marcel Löckner and Florian Arment also pretty close to each other again. Carl just dips into the gravel a tiny bit. Oh, and behind you can see Marcel Löckner going a bit off the track. Frank von Roon now again super close. Markenberg meanwhile still 4/10 behind Yuval Rosen. Now gaps have built up a bit, except between these two. Marcel Löckner going a bit off-road, losing a lot of time and possibly the slipstream, but Florian Arment also goes into the gravel, losing a lot of speed on the start-finish straight, and Marcel Löckner will just fly past, I guess. Now he is past. Does he have complete overlap? Definitely looks like it. Oh, and at the front, lead change for the first time this day. Marvin Markenberg overtook Yuval Rosen. Seems like he made a mistake of some sort. Sadly, I didn't have it on camera. Now Florian Arment all over the back of Marcel Löckner, so it's just the other way around. And Frank von Roon still behind Nagi. Sven Markenberg closing in on Matthias Friedrich. Obviously wanting to get back his positions. Florian Arment now super close to Marcel Löckner into Aqua Minerale. Sven Markenberg just having a way better exit than Friedrich. Now on the inside. Now Friedrich defends. Now Markenberg with the one on the outside can get more speed and is past. And now Yuval Rosen behind Markenberg. But he will have system, but drifts through the final corner. That will lose him a lot of time. And yeah, obviously the position to attack in this lap. So now you just have to get back into the slipstream range for the big slipstream. Big toe. Frank von Roon also can't get close enough to Nagi to launch an attack. Sven Markenberg now right behind Florian Arment. Not close enough to launch an attack into Tamburello, but maybe with a good one. Oh, he's too far away. But he will try to get past as soon as possible. Marcel Löckner taking a bit of a growth right there. And Frank von Roon side by side with Nagi up there. And we've got a big crash, and it's Marcel Löckner into the barriers. But let's look at Frank von Roon. We will look at the damage later. Bit of wheel banging. Side by side into Aqua Minerale. Bit of touching. That's okay. Oh, and oh, Frank loses it on the exit. Just a bit too much curb and too much throttle. And now in a very dangerous spot. Oh, that's pretty dangerous, Frank. And he parks the car. So we've got the first DNF of the season. So unlucky because it was a very great race so far, and Masterletten losing it again. Just having a completely butchered car. And Yuval Rosen again has made a mistake of some sort as he's now 3 seconds behind. And Masterletten, yeah, driving without front wing or anything. Now Sven Mattenberg in the slipstreaming range of Florian Arendt. Meanwhile also Piatkowski just not close enough. Mattenberg on the inside. Florian Arendt probably just knows that he is quicker. He's now using the toe to maybe get close to Feldhardt. See Masterletten. Is he going for the pits? Yeah, he does. Timings are a bit bugged for Frank, I don't know. Anyway. Let's actually try out what I wanted to try. So there we can see the standings after race 1. Obviously without penalties so far. So far Yuval Rosen in P1, but after this race, if it finishes like it in the order as it is right now, we will have equal points between Yuval Rosen and Martin Mattenberg. So yeah, at least the feature works. You get the rest. So currently the closest we have is Nagy to Yuval Rosen. Yuval Rosen seems to just struggle with the car, the tires, probably. Because Nagy can make up a lot of ground there. Now can he keep his distance and keep... Oh, big slide there for Nagy. But can he keep the distance and keep being close enough for some slipstream on the main straight? That is the big question. On this lap it's just not enough for him. Actually, I just noticed I even made a mistake on the live thing, you know. Because Sven Mattenberg finished behind from wrong. And now Yuval Rosen can build up a bit of a gap again. Nagi again. It doesn't seem to be as stable out of slow corners with fixed setup. You can see a lot of sliding out of second gear turns, usually. Especially with some elevation like in Aqua Minerali or out of the hairpin. This is still the close battle of Masalöcken. Currently through enough. Fix his car. Shouldn't interrupt with any of the leaders. Got 4 laps to go. Marvin Mackenberg leaving by a comfortable 4 seconds. Ollie Rosen, who himself just builds up a gap now. Already 1.4 seconds to Nagi. Also activate this maybe. So you can see the time difference in real time. Also, fair touch. Silent but steady. Still in P4, has comfortable gap of 3.3 seconds to Sven. Even though Sven has more pace, could be close in the end. So that's also a great way to make points. Just by driving consistent. Löcken again having a spin. Seems like it's Tamburello. But yeah, obviously he will just take the 2 points. Not much he can do. So right now 2.7 seconds behind. Keep an eye on this one. And Rui Cavao in the pits. I mean, he has nothing to lose. Maybe he just did some repairs to be safe or change tires just to be safe. Now 2.5 seconds. Still got 2 laps to go after this one. So Sven does definitely gain ground. But 2 seconds and 2 laps is still quite a lot. And it's also the closest we have right now. Just trying to find the correct tag. Löcken again having a spin. Second race doesn't go as well for him, let's say it like that. Now less than 2 seconds. So he does he is decreasing the distance between him and Feldhardt enough to get close for the final lap, but getting past is the difficult thing. No, Spotify, I didn't want to open that application. It's just a bit of a mess on my desktop, to be honest. So now we've gone into the final lap. Seems like positions haven't changed. Marcel looking again for spin. Now just waiting on the grass for play. Oh, and Yuval wasn't going through the gravel big time there. And on those two, they will be very close at the end of the lap. Leaks. He definitely can't make any attack into the next chicane, so his only real chance is either by slipstreaming onto the finish line, which probably isn't enough. Feldhardt having a bit of slide, but Sven Maggenberg couldn't get a decent exit, so he just can't get close enough to do anything to the left hander. It will all come down to the final corner. But Sven Maggenberg just can't get close enough now. Downward shot on the exit. Sven Maggenberg risking it all, but just going through the gravel. P5 for him. But let's jump to Marvin Maggenberg. He actually won the race. So congratulations to Maggenberg. Congratulations to Yuval Rosen to P1 and P2 in both races. Nagy, another third place for him. Then we've got Feldhardt, as said, good defense from Sven Maggenberg. So that's another fourth place for him. Sven Maggenberg again had to make up ground from the back of the grid, or the back of the field after the spin. Then Florian Arment, decent sixth finish in this race. Fought his way back up, or back, whatever. Then we've got Matthäus Friedrich into a solid P7, Rui Carvalho, P8. Marcel Löcken having the big crash and long repair times, P9 and Frank von Horn. Our first and so far only DNF in 10th. So yeah, let's take a look at the standings. So just need to update this and now it should work. Yeah, there we can see. So Yuval Rosen and Marvin Maggenberg both on 43 points. Then we've got Nagy in P3 with 30 points. And then Feldhardt with 24 points, obviously same positions each race. Then we've got Sven Maggenberg, who could get another 10 points in race 2 to get 18 points overall. And then we've got 3 drivers with 10 points. Marcel Löcken 8 in race 1, 2 in race 2. Friedrich, I think 6 points and 4 points. And Arendt now getting the 8 points and the 2 points he had before. Von Horn still sitting on his 8 points from race 1, and Rui Carvalho having 5 points, getting a few points through the delay, due to the mistakes of others. Shorty's gas pedal was struck. Yeah, I mean, at least you could fix it in the pits. Very unfortunate, obviously, but nothing we can do there. Anyway, we are gonna sort out some of the incidents now after the race. And yeah, I hope it was fun watching. I hope it was fun driving. I had a lot of fun, at least. And just being tagged. Okay. So yeah, next week we've got Hockenheim. German Grand Prix. And as said, I won't be commentating, not as much, a bit in the background maybe. But yeah, just let it be a surprise. And I'm very happy with how the first race turned out to be. So let's hope Hockenheim maybe sees a few more drivers even. You can join the KCG League via the Discord in the description, first link. And you can also join as a guest starter for some special races if you want to. So yeah, I think that was it for today. Have a great night or evening, wherever you are. And we will see you next week.